Hey y'all, what's up? This is Chris from Blackstone Cherry, and you're watching the Helix Hour with Eric Broadbent.
Welcome to the Helix Hour, brought to you in part by Design39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs. Microphones for the Helix Hour are provided by Rode Microphones. Now, let's talk some Helix. Hey everyone, happy Sunday to you all. Beautiful Sunday and happy early Thanksgiving, or actually happy Thanksgiving to my Canadians like we have here. Canadians are in the hizzy here today. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We're very happy and excited to have this really killer Helix Hour presentation dedicated to HX Stomp from Line 6. Jason Sadites is back in the house. Nice to have you physically in the house. How you doing, buddy?
Awesome. It's great to have you. It's so happy you had me in.
Yeah, yeah. You hosted me last time. Now it's my turn to return the favor.
What did we do last? Oh, we did the power cap.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, right.
Yeah, so we're really excited about this today. I've got a bunch of people jumping in the chat. We'll be sure to stop over and say hi to you as often as we can, and we'll do that quite often. But today's going to be more of a kind of a informational kind of, I don't know what infomercial, if you want to call it that, a hands-on demo. We're going to look at HX Stomp here in a moment. We've got it ready to go here, as you can see here. We'll jump over there, and Jason's going to take us through some of his presets that he's loaded into Stomp. Basically, you buy this from your favorite retailer, and you're going to have you have 10 of your presets, correct?
I believe it's 10, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'll take you through them and kind of explain what I did.
That's good. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of people, I've heard this feedback I've heard from Facebook messages and YouTube comments and things like that. A lot of people are ready to buy Stomp just based on Jason's presets. And we know that for a fact. You know, we see that in the community. People love his presets. Even Chris Robertson, who was nice enough to give us a show ID at the beginning, you know, he was talking on the one show I had him on a couple of weeks back. And remember, he was saying, what's that one fellow's name? Jason Sadites? You know, yeah, Custom Tone. He's like, that guy, he knows all the stuff about the patches. So
that's neat.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That's a nice shout out.
I knew you'd like that. That's pretty awesome. So before maybe we jump into it, we'll go over and say hi to everybody. It's nice to have everybody here joining us on the Sunday afternoon. And we've been looking forward to this for quite some time. Brock Davison is here as well. Eric Harbauer. And I'm probably pronouncing Eric's last name wrong. And Jason and I were talking about this off the air. I'm the king of pronouncing names wrong, but as long as I try to get it close enough, hopefully you won't hate me too much. Okay, so Wonky, what is that how you'd pronounce it?
Yeah,
okay.
Wonky Casas.
Wonky Casas, okay. A bassist looking to learn a lot about unit, just ordered mine, and I better get it next week, moving from Helix LT to Stomp. I think we're going to have a lot of bass players interested in this product. I really do. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a travel rig for just about anybody, but I was listening to some of the demos today on the Line 6 website. It's just their SoundCloud samples, and I think the last 2 or 3 patches or samples were bass, and they sounded phenomenal.
Yeah, honestly, I can't speak to it because I worked so much on the guitar side of it. And I'm not really a bass player, but yeah, I could just imagine. I mean, it's going to be as good as the Helix is.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I think bass players, you're in for a treat for sure. You know, it's not much bigger than the average pedal that you'd play with anyway, so... let me see here. Brock Davison, if you're familiar with LT, you'll be familiar with this too. Yeah, for sure. And one of the things I discovered using Stomp for the first time as well today, Jason's showing me some of the things, and he's going to tell you about this, but how you're like the dual pass. I know we had some comments about dual pass, and we'll get into that in depth. But me being a HX effects user, it was so similar for me, just turning the knob, dropping it down to a path. But we'll go into that into depth earlier or later as well too. Stainless Steel is here. Frank Rachat is here from Line 6. What's up, guys and gals? Hope you're having a great weekend. Johan Renk is here saying hi. Alf's X something 82. I'm sorry, it's really bad. How are you looking forward to this one? Thank you for joining us. I'll just say Alf's, I think. We'll go with that. Sonia is here. And Full Circle. Greetings, Helix family. Carlo Santin, another Canadian. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Carlo. Chad Boston, whom we're all familiar with. Polly Storm, Gene Hartwick, Mike Francis, Alexander, JK, Rocamp 56, Satch 72. We've got a lot. David Ennis. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Sonia, Junkie. Oh, we mentioned Junkie, Jwaniki, Daniel, Randy Jones, David Ennis. We got Alec Bourne. And yeah, we got lots. I'm going to flag it down here at the bottom where Alex says hello to everybody. So I'd like you to just kind of give us, like, for the people that are just learning about HX Stomp now, can you tell us in Cole's notes, as we would say here in Canada, what is HX Stomp?
It's a small Helix-like object.
Okay.
I mean, basically, I guess we can really think of it as a small Helix, right?
Okay,
With
yeah.
limitations, obviously. You're not going to get all the ins and outs. You know, it's missing a Variax
VDI input.
Obviously, not all the sends and returns. There's a stereo send, a stereo return, balanced or unbalanced outs. Stereo inputs, MIDI in and out. Headphone works as an amazing USB audio interface with all the same quality that the Helix has, right? It's the same conversion from what I've been told and what I understand. And I've used it as an audio interface for a lot of videos. Man, it's amazing. It's one of the great features on this, I really think, is that for somebody looking for an audio interface that is, you know, doesn't need a whole bunch of mic preamps or whatnot, that maybe wants to use it for a front end of Helix native.
Yes.
You're now getting the auto impedance, or the selectable impedance of what the Helix has in that whole front end, right? And then there's no limitations in native. I mean, it's limitations of your CPU, right?
Yes.
So you're not maybe limited to the 6 blocks that are in HX Stomp. So and that's another point, right? As I've mentioned in some of the other videos, and it's out there now, right? Is that you're limited to 6 blocks. That may or may not be a deal breaker for some folks.
Yeah, I'm hearing more and more. I'm hearing more and more. It's not, because at first I was scared when I heard that. No, not for myself, but I'm thinking all these other guys, because guys and girls, because in the Helix world, you know, we have all these tools available to us, and a lot of times we use all of them, right? Just because we can, we do. And I thought, okay, when they said 6 blocks, I thought this is going to scare some people. And I was actually very pleasantly surprised to see how many people were like, hey, in the real world, I might have 12 or something in a preset, but I'm really only using 3, 4, 5 anyways. So it's going to make you think smarter. It's going to make you work smarter. And in the grand scheme of things, I think it might actually translate into better tone.
One thing that I found funny is, you know, I'll use a strange comparison maybe, but, you know, you take like old Led Zeppelin recordings where John Bonham, basically they had like 3 or 4 mics set up on his drums, right?
Yeah,
and they were just these canon-like drum sounds. And now everybody goes into a studio and wants to try to recreate those sounds, and they set up like 36 microphones, right, in a room, and they go, I'm going to recreate the John Bonham. And you go, you know, there's something to the simplicity sometimes in the fact that we have limited options. And now, you know, even if we're talking recording in a DAW, right, we have endless plugins we can add. We have endless everything. And sometimes, yeah, you end up hitting sort of a point of diminishing returns, right, where we're just adding things in because we can. And the interesting thing about this product, I think, is that it forces us to not do that, which may be a good thing sometimes. Now, obviously, there's times where people do need more, right? But for somebody who, you know, just needs a basic amp, a little bit of reverb, a little bit of delay, maybe, you know, chorus or whatever, it's great. The other thing too is there is an external expression pedal and foot switch out, which you can use Y cables, and you can add a 4th and 5th foot switch to it, or up to 2 expression pedals, which you can then assign pretty much any of the parameters like you would in the Helix.
Okay.
Right? It could be used as a wah or volume pedal, but you could also use it to control your delay mix, or
reverb, blend in, reverb,
anything. And I've done a bunch of videos on sort of expression pedal use, and again, a big shout out to the Mission folks, Mission Engineering, Paul Shedden. You know, that's the recommended expression pedals for, there you go,
one of these guys right here.
So big shout out to them. They're probably some of the most amazing build quality on expression pedals.
Oh,
so,
it's killer. I mean, you could literally kill somebody with this thing.
Absolutely. And you can also use the version with the toe switch. Is that a one?
No, this one isn't a toe switch. No.
If you have the toe switch, so you can turn effects on and off if you wanted to use it as a full blown wah, right? Just press down, boom.
Yeah.
You know, or you could have, you know, one of the foot switches on there assigned to it.
It's funny, like the actual. I'm going to switch that camera. The actual expression pedal dwarfs the actual.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I mean, it's hard to see, but you can see the comparison. I'll try to put it this way.
Yeah.
Look at it's a small footprint.
It's huge. I mean, yeah, you know, there's my hand, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a large hand, but yeah, it's you know, it's a small pedal. It's pretty incredible. I mean, you can like I said, Eric Klein mentioned to me that it was designed to fit in the top pouch of the Helix backpack.
I know.
So you could be taking a Helix to a gig, and that's stuffed in the top as your backup rig, or I don't know, an extension on it, or whatever you're using it for, right?
That's right. What we're going to do here in a moment, we're going to, I'm just going to ask Jason a couple questions about the presets that come stock in it. And I know this is a selling feature for a lot of people. And even Eric at Line 6 and some of the Line 6 staff will tell you, like, people sometimes will complain about in Helix the factory presets. and they'll even say the factory presets are not the best, but they're always made as a stepping stone. You know, it's like basically so you can take it. They'd be better than having blank spots, 128 blank spots or whatever. So you come home and you got to create something yourself. And if you're new to Helix, you know, you might be lost and you want to start playing. So they give you all these presets that you can use as a stepping stone, whatever. But now with Stomp, we've got presets in there right out of the box that are going to be really enjoyable, and we're going to get to hear them in a second. But just maybe before we do that, obviously this has been under lock and key for quite some time, and with any good product release, it's not just something that, hey, we should make this and let's launch it tomorrow. A lot of work goes into this, a lot of testing. I know even Eric was mentioning the other day on the show with me, very briefly, we had him for 20 minutes. You know, they were getting it smaller, and getting it smaller, you know, just trying to basically fit in a small configuration, maybe even to fit in that backpack like you're talking about. Yeah. And looking at different revisions of the chassis, all that kind of stuff. So there's so much that goes into these things. I don't even have any idea really what goes into it, but I hear, you know, from the staff some of the things that they do. Major process. But long story short, it's been in the process for a long time. You had the opportunity to contribute presets to it, which is, number one, pretty awesome. Tell us what it was like, you know, kind of getting the information from the team saying, hey, Jason, we'd like to have you maybe contribute some presets, and how that kind of evolved.
Yeah, I was actually sitting in a coffee shop getting ready to release some other video for my channel, one of the dialing in videos or whatever it was, and an email came in from Eric Klein, and I just went, oh, that's kind of cool, and I read it, and he says, man, we got this top secret project.
Yep.
Are you able to keep your mouth shut? He said it much more polite than
Neither
that,
one of us can. But...
Yeah, and I said, no, I can't keep my no. No, obviously, yeah, and so he asked if I was interested in making some presets for it, and I thought, and honestly, it was like a complete honor, right?
Yeah, of course, thrilled.
Just, you know, so I said, yeah. It took me about 1.5 seconds to
answer.
Yeah, to say yes. I think I'll do that. I dropped what I was doing, answered him back, and we took the steps we needed to you know, start that whole process, right? Yeah. So I mean, I got to work. What a lot of it was I pulled some of my old Helix ones from maybe some of the guitar solo cover videos I did. Okay. And I looked at them and I thought, how could I condense these into like the 6 blocks necessary, right? And what could I change, discard that's not gonna, you know, and then tweak them, and spent a little bit of time just, you know, getting them dialed in where I thought, and again, you know, this is a bit of a crapshoot. You're hoping that it's going to translate to people's monitoring system. You're hoping it's going to translate to the guitars they're playing or their ideals, right? So it's a tough thing. It's a little nerve-wracking because, you know, not every preset's going to work for everybody, right? As you well know. But I was able to. So I did a number of presets which were kind of sort of artist and song specific, and you can tell by the names of them, which we'll probably go through in a few minutes. Again, not saying that I tried to copy the sounds of them. And I released the video yesterday, which was the factory preset demo video, where I actually used them for the guitar solos from the songs that I kind of created them for, and you know, so people could hear them. And that's just everything. All the videos I've done are all just the preset with no post-production after it.
Nice.
It's coming right out of the Stomp. Going, you know, I record it to Cubase, and when I do the mix, there's really no mixing other than how loud do I want this to be.
No EQing, no nothing.
Didn't touch it. No compression, no EQ, no nothing. So what you're hearing, I think that was important because I think people want to hear what it's going to sound like.
And a lot of people aren't engineers. They don't know how to compensate and fix that. So you need to give it to them and let's play now kind of mode.
That's right. And especially if you're going to use it live, right?
Yes.
And I did double check all of them on both my Mission Gemini and my Power Cab, and my studio monitor. So I was really going between all the different monitoring systems, you know, and headphones, you know, just to basically hope these are going to translate well. So then I did some other less artist specific ones, just more generic one. I did one based around with some snapshots. I think the one of the Mesa Boogie amps, and then the Placator, and I think maybe the High Watt, the Who Watt.
Yep.
I can't remember off the top of my head now. It's been a while. It's been months ago since I did those. But we'll take a look at them anyway. So yeah, so there's 10 of them in there, and I hope people like them. Now, hope they're not disappointed with them.
Oh, I'm sure they're not going to be whatsoever. I'm sure they're not going to be disappointed. How, now, with the rest of them, does it come like what Helix would come with, like all the other factory presets, or?
Yes, and so. Did you want to switch over to?
Yeah, why don't we? Let's do that right now.
And so you'll see here that, in this view here, I'm in snapshot mode right now, which I can switch between different modes here, where you've got stomp mode, where you can turn particular, try not to get my hand in the way. You know, this is assigned to the transistor tape. This is designed to the reverb, or assigned, sorry. These are all capacitive touch as well.
Just
so
like
if
Helix.
I go into edit mode over here and touch this, right, it's going to call up that I can, you know, assign it to something else, but just like the Helix, or as you told me, HX effects as well.
Yep.
I haven't used it. I've never had a need for HX effects, so I'm not familiar enough with it, but I'm assuming it's all the same.
Yeah.
So there's edit mode, right, with our path up there. If I hit my home button again, I go back, but I can toggle between preset mode, 2 different preset modes. I can't remember the names that they actually call it in the manual, but this allows us to just bank up and down on a preset, right? This allows us to have 3 presets at our foot, basically, and then by pressing these 2 or these 2, we can bank up and down.
That's exactly what I was telling you off the air. I said, like, a lot of us are familiar with that with other competing products, like in various pedals. You can have an A, B, C, or 2 on the left will be bank up, 2 on the right would be bank down, and you just it's hard to do in your bare foot. But if you have like indoor shoes, or you know, if you're gigging, your foot will cover those 2 buttons easily.
Yeah,
yeah,
really well thought out.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what my first. It took me minutes to feel like I was at home on this and navigating it. It really was that simple. It was really well thought out. So there's snapshot mode, right? So you can have, if you have snapshots enabled, you'll see up here, right?
Yep,
Snapshot
you see the camera.
1,
yep.
Snapshot 2, snapshot 3. I don't think this preset actually uses them, but
Yep.
you know, they're there. And what were we talking about? I lost my train.
Well, basically the other factory presets that come
Right,
with
the other
thing.
factory. So when we're back here, I can press the top encoder knob, and
there you
this
go.
gives me a list of everything, right? So what they've done is they've banked these into, you'll notice the presets start with FX. And these are where the stomp is going to be used with a real amp as maybe the HX effects, right?
Yeah.
Or right?
Yep.
Where you're just going to be using it for the effects, no
amp modeling.
no amp modeling and whatnot. So if you're using this, you know, for amp modeling, you're probably not going to want those presets at all.
No.
The DIR or direct, these are where you're going to have amp modeling and everything involved. Okay. And those are the 10 presets I did. For anybody who's interested, all of mine have JS at the end of them.
Is that Joe Satriani?
That is Joe Satriani, yes. Yeah, I figured I'd give him the credit for the work.
They sound like Joe Satriani when he was playing.
So we have a whole bunch of direct. Then we have 4CM, which I think everybody can
cable method.
4 cable method, right? So obviously those are not going to be of any use to anybody if you're not set up in 4 cable method.
Right.
Again, you would probably just, sorry, I don't want to move this on
That's
the
okay.
screen here.
But at least the fact that they're there, better to have it than have to search for it.
That's right. And then there's bass presets, right?
Simple.
Which again, I haven't, you know, had the need, or acoustic. And
oh, acoustic. I want to stop you there just for a quick second, because a mutual friend of ours, a very good friend, Aaron Short,
Okay. Yes.
he is really onto things when it comes to acoustic. He's the acoustic guy when it comes to Line 6, as far as my opinion. He knows his stuff, and he was really hoping this would be a good interface for acoustic guitar and things like that. So do you feel, I know you haven't used it yet, but would you feel confident enough to say that I can't see why not?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I mean, it's you know, you can plug your whatever acoustic it is you have and use all the same stuff the Helix has, up to that limitation of the 6 blocks, right? So yeah, I mean, if the Helix is, this is as well, you know, I mean.
Now, question, we do know that the 1/4-inch outputs are balanced with tip ring sleeve. Are the inputs balanced, do you know?
I don't want to, I'm not sure.
Okay, that's to say.
I don't think so, and I don't know if there would be an.
I'm just because I'm wondering if you're,
if
you're coming from a guitar, like, you know, XLR out of the guitar.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm not sure. I don't want to. I
no
can't
problem.
say yes or no.
We'll find out the definitive answer to that.
Yeah. So acoustic, and then even a couple keyboard presets, like 2 of them or something, which I, again, no idea. And then you end up into a whole twack of presets that are just user presets. So this is a real quick way to kind of flip through these and you know, find what you're looking for, right?
For myself, seeing it today for the very first time, hands-on, having obviously experience with Helix itself, both floor and rack, and then with HX effects, there's the learning curve here for people that are existing users is nil. There's no learning curve, and for people that are buying it for the first time and getting their first introduction to a Helix product, I think honestly, it's great for them because it's so intuitive, and they've made every button have dual purposes, which is great. Obviously, you have to because of the chassis size and the footprint, but I don't think there's going to be more than within an hour of coming home, not even that, half an hour, and you'll be playing and probably recording.
Oh, absolutely. It's really well thought out. I mean, I guess somebody who's brand new to the modeling world and never experienced this, yeah, there is going to be, but there is with the Helix, there is
Everything.
with any other modeler
Brand.
out there as well. There is with a new computer that you buy or a new cell phone. I mean, there is a learning. If you've never used a smartphone before, you need to learn how to use a smartphone.
Well, I get a brand new car. Where's the air conditioning control, right?
So that's kind of, yeah, but as far as people who, I mean, if you're already in the Helix family, this is going to be just a no-brainer. You're going to be able to transfer over to this like nothing.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed.
I think that's my opinion.
How about we do this? We'll go back and say hi to a few more people,
Absolutely.
and I'll have you grab that beautiful Yamaha over there.
Oh, yes.
And we're plugged in, and we'll get Jason doing some riffs here and show us really what this thing is made of. So Alec Bourne is here, Daryl McMillan, Sonia, Sean Murphy, hello from Boston. Steffi Lindman Media, hello guys. Scott Kinsella, we got a good level. Joel E, have any Canadian guys found where to buy these yet? So Long McQuaid would be one eventually?
Yeah, now, and please don't quote me on this because I have no idea whether I'm being accurate, but I don't think they're, maybe Frank can
Frank can jump in.
But I thought I heard somebody in the know say November for Canada.
Okay.
But again,
we'll call on you guys in the
almost
chat
hate to say that, but
we'll call on you guys in the chat to confirm for sure. But anywhere where you can purchase Line 6 products here in Canada, there's a lot of great retailers, but we'll let them defer that. Let me see here. Daniel Desi, Simple Joel moved to the USA. Ryan Yang, how does this compare to the Firebox? Well, that's a good question. Save that note. Have you used a Firebox?
I used to own an Amplifier 6 and an Amplifier 12
before
I jumped on the Helix train and sold those promptly. Nothing against them.
No, but this just happens to work better.
Very good units. So, I mean, as far as I understand the Amplifier box and my limited knowledge of it, it's just a limited version of those same sounds, right? I don't think there's a comparison because it's designed to be very simplistic. I think maybe one amp mod. And again, don't quote me on that. I'm going by my quick scanning of notes about those products. But this is basically a Helix. Like you got to remember that this has all of the effects, all of the amps, the ability to load IRs, all of the cabs. Everything that a Helix or Native has, it's just that we can't implement as many instances of those. We have 6 blocks, right? So, when you bring this 3 snapshots into play here, the flexibility is crazy because you can have one amp model that goes from, say, clean to very overdriven, and just by using those snapshots, we can cover a huge amount of ground.
That's right.
Right? So, it's very flexible.
Yeah, for sure. There's no real limitations that way. Nocturnal Butterfly has posted the link directly to the Line 6 website where you can find out more about Stomp. DJ Asterisk is saying Stomp is the ultimate bass rig for sure. I believe that 100%. Mel O'Brien says Cole's notes still in yellow and black covers. It's so funny. It's been so long ago since I've seen Cole's notes. Even though I use that term all the time, I don't remember. Okay, so here we go. There we go. Joel, Frank is saying, Joel, I'm told last week of October, first week of November. So you were, you're right on the money.
I wasn't just blowing smoke. All right.
It's nice when it almost sounds like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, because it doesn't happen often.
Always best to be safe.
It really doesn't happen.
I know. It's always best to be safe. When we don't know, we're not going to tell you we know for sure. We'll speculate, but we're not going to say it's gospel for sure. Let me see here. Scroll back a little bit. I see what happens if I just don't scroll too fast. So tell you what I'll do is I'll leave it right there for a second, and I'll make sure I come back and try to answer as many of these questions as well. So I'm going to put it back on the other screen so you can see Stomp. And Jason, just kind of tell us maybe a couple what you're going to go through first and kind of give us an idea what we're going to hear, and then we'll physically hear it.
Sure, sounds good. So here's some of the presets that I made. So this one is DI, and the funny thing is when Eric and I were discussing this, he says, you basically, I think it's 16 characters, anyways, for the name, and he says, but DIR : has to be at the front of it because of so you basically were kind of trying to find ways to name these that sort of got the idea across.
Almost like a personalized license plate, you're so
right,
short.
and then he says, if you want people to know that they're your presets,
you got to
put your initials at the end, so it's like, wow, okay, there's not a lot left, but anyways, it is what it is, right? So HTL Cali, right? Hotel Cali. So anybody who's watched my channel knows I do a lot of these guitar solo covers. So this was a very similar tone, kind of stripped down to what I used for a Hotel California cover video. That I tried to pick ones where I got a lot of positive feedback from folks.
Of course.
Where they said, wow, that was a really cool tone. Or on Custom Tone, when I put them up, had a lot of downloads. So I thought, yeah, you know what, maybe I'll just kind of stick to some of those, right? So something like this, if we go into edit mode, here we go, we see it's a Brit Plexi Bright. I'm going to use the top encoder knob here, you'll see. I'm on my input block, right? And you can use your page buttons here to scroll through. So you'll see impedance is set to auto, but you know, I can go over to my encoder here. Try to do this without breaking my back. And you know, you have all your there's you know all your different impedance settings. It's set to auto. Keep it there. Turn my encoder knob. I'm gonna, you know, I didn't put the volume pedal in, but some of them I only used 5 blocks. So the folks at line 6 would say, well, we got an open block, throw a volume pedal at the beginning for somebody who might want to throw an expression pedal on there. So then in Minotaur, set with minimal gain, right? Different settings you see there. Brit Plexi Bright with a cab. So if I take my page buttons and just keep scrolling over, you'll see that it turns into, oh, there's my cab, 412 greenback with a 112 dynamic, 3 inches back, low cut at 63. A lot of times in the Helix ones, I'll use a separate EQ block for my lows and high cuts, but with this, I kind of try to incorporate them into the cab itself, right?
Gotcha.
So that, and we all know too that you got to maybe leave it a little bit more drastic because the cab highs and low cuts aren't as dramatic a slope, right?
Yes.
Less dB per octave,
right,
let's say. So, you know, little things like that you kind of go through. So, you know, Brit Plexi Bright with the drive on 10, a little bit of transistor tape delay, a little bit of spring reverb, and my beloved LA Studio comp at the end, right? So something like that.
Tasty.
And tuning is becoming an issue, apparently. Yeah, so I mean, you know, very responsive, much like we've come to realize from the Helix. You know, touch sensitive, like a tube amp. You know, like I said, you bring that volume back.
Really responds.
Okay, so that's one of them.
That really responds. That's great.
That's the Hotel Cali one. A little Always With Me, Always With You by
here we
Sad. You know, I could roll the volume back. Wasn't really designed for this tone. It was more the
yeah.
Right.
Harmonics jump out.
Yep, everything's nice there. A little Eric Johnson-ish.
See why I don't plug my guitar in today?
Sorry, I probably butchered that. Sorry, Eric.
I'm not plugging in a guitar today.
Haven't played that in ages.
Oh, come on, that's great.
Seared Guy is the Friedman or Fried
Okay,
man.
yeah.
Totally
Seared, I got you.
Totally ridiculous.
Yep.
So this is a 3-snapshot preset. Now, anybody who's watched any of the videos I put out, my introduction video, which had little bits of audio in between, and then I put a factory preset demo out just for this where I wrote a little custom piece of music. It's this preset.
Okay.
There's a snapshot for rhythm, a snapshot for lead. Okay. Hit snapshot 2, some little bit of boost in gain, I believe, and some delay.
That's just from a snapshot 1 to 2. And I have to apologize too. If you're hearing squeaks, it's not any fault of Jason's. I have a really squeaky EVH chair that I have to oil that thing. Yeah. It's horrible.
It is what it is.
But that's from snapshot 1 to 2. That's incredible.
So there's snapshot 1.
Nice, a delay and reverb.
And again, if we go into edit mode, what you'll see here is the snapshots on placate or dirty. So drive is on 8. If I press this button, you'll see drive drops to 7.1.
Okay.
Bass goes from 5.7 to 6.5.
Not drastic.
No, just little things.
Yeah. But it's noticeable.
Great amp model.
Man, oh man,
really
that sounds good.
Jeff Beck Lovers. So this is, as anybody who watched, I released that video yesterday, which was a collage of me playing snippets of different songs. I think it was Always With Me, Always With You, Kid Charlemagne, Under a Glass Moon by Dream Theater, Jeff Beck, I don't know, what I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah. Anyways, the thing about this is it's not the guitar I used for this particular thing. I, kind of want a whammy bar.
Obviously playing with the thumb too, like Jeff would do. And,
absolutely.
Yep. It makes a huge difference, doesn't it?
Nice to have a bar to give a little flick to. Nothing but guitar controls.
You know what I'm hearing, and I only have one earpiece in right now, so I'm hearing this in mono. I know you guys are out there hearing in stereo, but what I'm hearing, and it's nice to hear a tone like that just in mono. It's responding very well to each pickup position, to split coil, everything. I mean, and the volume control. It really responds in a very dynamic way to everything.
It really does, and that's, I mean, if it didn't, I wouldn't be able to play it.
No, I know, of course, because
and not just me, everybody else out there, yourself included.
Some of the things that are out there, especially when it comes to modeling, whether it be software or whatever, even sometimes pedals. It's either full blown or nothing, and there's no happy place in between, right? Yeah. And that was really responding. Now I know those are beautiful pickups in that guitar and things like that too, but it's going to respond the same whether you're playing a Strat style guitar, Les Paul, EMGs, whatever you want. It's going to be very kind of responsive to your pickup position and everything.
To me, it's much in the same way a tube amp is.
Yeah, exactly.
So whatever those pickups are going to give you in a tube amp, I feel you're going to get in this. The models are done.
And for the guys and girls playing live, that's very, very important, because some people may just use one patch, one preset, and it might be their all-night thing. Maybe with a snapshot to be louder or some delays and things like that. But they could essentially use one preset all night long, roll their volume back on their guitar, and just like you're playing through your favorite tube amp.
Well, like the old school way it was done.
Exactly,
right?
That was your volume, was right here.
Cranked up, and it was all here, right?
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So this one's a John Petrucci one that I kind of did under a glass moon type of a. And that lick that everybody loves. That's the one that everybody seems to comment on, that little sweeping lick. So that one, again, these aren't copies of the artist. It's just more in the vein, with something like that.
Get you in the wheelhouse.
Right, Cali rectifier with 2 cabs, as you can see. So this is another thing I think some folks were asking about, right? There's the split paths.
Yeah, one of your friends, you posted a picture today, and one of your friends asked if you could please explain the split paths. Right. This is pretty cool.
So what happens is, you know what, let's do this. Let's go to just a blank preset. Okay, so here we are. I go into edit mode, and let's say we've got this blank path now. So here, our top encoder knob, I can move that around. You see how I'm moving around my path now. There's my input block. You can use your page button. There's my, if you don't want auto impedance, you can set that to whatever you want. I'll just leave it at auto for now. I move over and I press my lower encoder knob, and it gives me a list of all of my amps and effects, right? So let's just pick an amp, guitar amp, whatever, to Interstate Z, you know, and then we could make our changes here. Now, let's say that I decided I want to put a delay after that. Let's say a stereo transistor tape. I'm not going to get into settings here. This is, you know, and then maybe a reverb, Ganymede. But let's say that we wanted, you know, those to be parallel. So I can go back to my delay and hit the action button, which then raises up our transistor tape block.
Okay.
And if you notice here, it says path A. Now, if you notice, I'll try to do this without getting in the way here. I'll maybe reach around with this hand. If I switch that to path B, watch what happens to the transistor tape. It drops down to another path, right? And then after I hit action again, I can now scroll through right over to my split block here. I could change my split to a split Y, to a split AB, split crossover, just like on the Helix. We've also got our mixer block, just like on the Helix, with all the same controls, right? So yeah, you can set up the different paths as well, right?
That's good. That's what I was saying, was for us HX FX users as well, very, very similar. Turning the knob and drop it down, that simple.
Yeah. So then, you know, I did that Petrucci one. I did another snapshot one with the Texas Cali amp. So clean.
That's nice. Wow.
Snapshot 2, a little bit more. Snapshot 3, more of a lead. Okay. Steely Kid was kind of a Kid Charlemagne-esque. Okay, much like kind of a Larry Carlton-esque sound again, right? And then I think I did, a Van Halen jump, kind of,
okay.
you know.
That's not bad at all.
I have no idea how that solo goes.
That's okay.
Probably doesn't sound anything like Van Halen, but anyways.
It gives it a tone though.
And a high watt with presets, or snapshots. Then we get into some Glenn DeLon presets, which are
nice.
kind of a atmospheric type.
Nice.
Kind of a swelling type of a thing. So Glenn also
Contributed some as well.
contributed some, and they're awesome. Glenn's
Nice.
amazing player, really great fella, and really talented with his presets too. So that you also get some of Glenn's presets in this
Oh,
as
wow.
well. So yeah.
No, any other
stuff.
people that we know that contributed, or is that
You know
just
what? Not that I unless some people contributed and didn't want to be
Credit for it.
identified, because there are a whole, whole lot of other. There's a Placator Derby.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, that's one of the other factory presets.
Nice.
Mahadiva, the Wagner.
Nice.
Yeah, and endless ones. Litigator.
Very warm.
No, that's no snapshots there.
Nope, just straight up.
So
love
lots
it.
of great presets in there. The thing sounds amazing. It's a bit of a dream come true to be able to. We were laughing, right? Because I came in with a mono case with the little, what they call the mono tick bag. And he said, it's a dual mono case, 2 guitars, have this in the tick bag and go play Madison Square Gardens.
You could. You
not
totally.
That I would, but
no, but it totally could be done.
It totally could be done. Yeah, for sure.
Let's see if we have any questions we can try to answer over in the chat as well too. Kai Down is here. Mike Buckingham. Joel E. Thanks. Was afraid that if I got a gig in October, I'd have to leave for this. David Ennis is here. Let me see here. Stainless Steel says, guys, we need to hear the machine. Hopefully you heard some to kind of sparked your interest. Neil Banbury is here as well too. Let me see here. Campador Frank, I bought an LT last night. High five. Yeah, okay, so there you go, Stainless Steel. So hopefully you heard the sounds that you're looking for. You've asked for them several times here. DJ Asterisk, my Mission Helix expression pedal. Those guys know, or he loves his Mission Helix expression pedal. They certainly are the cat's meow for sure. Kai Down, knock factory presets all you want, but the Royal Power Duo, Royal Blood, is absolutely mind-blowing. I haven't tried that one.
No, me neither.
Okay, that's one thing I like about learning from people in the chat and guests on the show. We get to learn some things that we would have never tried before.
Sure.
And we're going to try to do that often on the show too. We're going to try to say, tell us if we did this on the roundtable one time, talking about presets that we'd never normally use, and to get out of your comfort zone. And that's probably a good one to try. Chris Rosa, excited for this. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Carlo Santin, any chance these presets will be available for my Helix rack? I guess, could they be ported over?
I have them all on Helix, on my Helix at home. I wanted to check with the guys at Line 6 first.
To find out, yeah.
Just because, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to be so presumptuous to think that it's up to me to go sharing if they had a different idea.
Right, because you created them, but it could be property of them now.
They were kind enough to allow, to give me the honor of providing them for here. So, I mean, if once I chat with them, which I plan to do, if they're fine with me doing them, I'll probably throw them up on Custom Tone, and
perfect.
Everybody can grab them.
We'll let you know, Carlo, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm good. You know,
watch for a future update on the show for sure. Mike Francis here, Quentin James, hey kids, Robert Apple, Andre Laruto, nice mini Helix for sure. Let me see here, Quentin James, happy Canadian Turkey Day. Thank you, everyone. Just to see if there's any technical questions. I appreciate everyone jumping in. And let me see here. Quentin James, Daniel Etsy, let me see here. Whenever you can, I want to learn something simple. Once a patch is configured, want to have first button with a pitch glide, go half step down, a second button, pitch, go full step down. Okay. And Frank's giving us a bit of an analogy of the weight. It only weighs a couple of pounds, but it's solid. It is. It's a brick. Scully's Woodshed is here. Hey Eric, how's it going? Scully sent me a really cool video, which I'm going to post over on EVH Gear TV Facebook page. So watch for that. It's a really cool Van Halen cover. Richard Henry's here, bit late. No problem, guys. There's no penalty for being late. Okay, this is a good. Here's a technical question from Chris DeRosa. If I were to use a stomp with HX effects, which effects loop would make the most sense? So I know you don't have experience with HX effects, but just pretend it's just a straight old effects unit.
Well, I mean, on the stomp we have stereo send, stereo return. So
just put it through there, and then just assign an effects loop block, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's really the only option, but think about the possibilities now.
Yes.
This is your amps, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be your, or some effects even on here if you, however it works out. There's a million possibilities, but yeah, absolutely. It's super easy integration with some few cables, right?
That's right. I saw a post the other day on Facebook. A fellow had just bought an HX effects recently, and he was kind of bummed because he had just heard about Stomp thereafter. And now, if finances aren't the obstacle for the person, right, and they want to buy, there's no real need to trade in HX effects to trade it for this. You can really use them in conjunction both, right? I
mean, so as far as I'm not as familiar with HX effects. The processing power on it is equivalent to Helix, or I'm
not 100% sure. Yeah. I have it right there, but
right.
But I would assume that you can free up the DSP that you'd be losing here slightly.
I'm thinking you're probably approaching Helix territory in
exactly.
some ways, obviously with some different ins, outs, and limitations. But I mean,
well, some guys were actually even using HX effects with Helix because I mean, it sounds funny that you would ever approach the cap on Helix. But just for those people that want to have it all, I've seen people doing that. They're putting them in various loop configurations through Helix. So no reason why you can't put these together.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and no need to trade one in if you've already purchased one. It's not one of those things where it's like, oh man, I made a bad purchase because I've got this now. And at the same time, maybe one day you want to go take out your tube amp and you want to bring HX effects. That's your rig for you that day.
Absolutely.
And I know firsthand, I've been hearing for some people that are traveling around the world playing sold out arenas. You know, Chris is a perfect example from Blackstone Cherry. You know, he's an advocate for Helix. I think he's using LT and a full-blown Helix, and he wanted something like this. He had mentioned to me one night he was going to do a gig with his dad's band or something like that, and he didn't want to have to bring out the big thing. He wanted to just be able to go in the car and go, and he was just about to purchase something else. And I said, just wait, give me one more day. You know, don't buy until Thursday, right? And then he was very thankful, and of course, pre-ordered. He's got it, and it's the gig. It's the thing for his gig.
Yeah,
you know,
that's awesome.
Throw it in the car. I mean, people that drive small little car, people that are on an e-bike can go to a gig.
I mean, I'm gonna love to see the look on some sound men's faces
I
when
know.
somebody
Come
shows up
on.
at a gig with that,
Yeah.
and you give them one cable. Is here you go, plug that in, and then
Yeah,
you know.
That's
possibilities are incredible.
Yeah, it's the width of 2 pieces of gaffer tape, and they're going to be looking at you. No, sorry, kid, your dad's not going to cut it. And when they hear the tone, they don't have to do anything at the board other than raise a fader.
It's, you know, it's an amazing thing.
That's right. That's right. We're about 14 minutes away from the end of the show, but we're going to continue on. Hopefully, we find so Quentin James asking, can I hook up an expression pedal? You mentioned 2.
If you want, with a Y split cable, yeah.
Perfect. Or you can also use another like a toggle on-off, you know, kind of thing.
I believe the limitation though is if you have a let's say a Mission Engineering expression pedal with the toe switch, you can only use the one because that's going to take up both. Right?
But if you're not using like this one here, for example, we showed there's no toe, so I could use that plus an on-off.
Plus another one.
Gotcha.
Or an on, or just another expression pedal.
Right. Perfect. Yeah. Very good. So that answers the question there as well. Kai says Eric's only saying indoor shoes because his Crocs endorsement hasn't come through yet. You will never see this person in a pair of Crocs. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a Canadian thing or not, but it's certainly got to be in this house. Can it do 4 cable method too? Of course it can.
Yeah, well, as you saw with the whole category of presets, factory presets, 4cm. Yeah.
Yep. On the website as well too, you'll see they've got some illustrations, 4 cable, 7 cable, you know, in conjunction with digital stuff, mixers, everything.
Yeah, the manual is really well thought out.
They do,
and well written.
I know those guys. You know, they probably, it's one of the things that they hate to do, but they have to do it. And I don't think they give themselves enough credit for what they put into those manuals. There's
humor-wise,
there's
some great humor.
I know. Well, Eric is great.
Yeah, some good nuggets hidden throughout.
But it's good, and a lot of us guys, and I'm blaming guys because women are a lot better than we are for this. And I know there's women musicians in the chat as well. Okay, the power supply. Yeah, we'll dig that up just before we're ready to wrap up. We'll grab the power supply and I'll let you see it. People are asking for that. But us guys are bad for reading manuals. And we'll go through that. You've done this a million times, I'm sure. You're trying to hook up a new TV or a stereo system, and it's not doing something right. And you're like, what's wrong with it? And then you pull out the manual. It's on page 1 with a big picture. And it's like, we're such idiots, right?
Should have taken a look at that first.
Exactly. Whereas the women, you know, they'll sit there and read the manual while they're doing whatever else they're doing, and then they turn the thing on and it works the first time because they're smart. Yeah. So we can learn a lot from you. But yeah, we're getting some questions about the power supply. We will show you that. It is a big power supply, and that's the only thing that if people want to say anything negative about the product, and if this is the only thing negative about it, I can certainly live with it. It's the size of the power supply, and it is what it is. We'll show you. It's nothing. It's not a deal breaker.
But I mean, if they had to integrate that same power supply inside of here, then this gets bigger.
That's
so
right. That's right.
You know, that's what the Helix is for. That's what the Helix LT is for, right?
Yeah. So. It's not a deal breaker by any method. And there are ways you can power it with your favorite other devices as well, like your Strymons and, you know, all those kind of things as well, power supplies. Now, that's a very loose way to say that because they don't necessarily guarantee, you know, they only guarantee what comes from line 6. But they know people have these things on their board, so it can work with them. And that's all I can say there. And Alec is saying, Frank, is there any way a dongle where we could get a VDI integration with Stomp or HX effects so VariX users can preserve functionality? And I'd say no at this point. I mean, we don't know the technical things, but at this point, no. And I don't think this is, as much as, you know, I have a VariX here, a lot of us have VariXs. This isn't the tool for the VariX guys or girls. Chances are, not in all cases, but we've got a Helix or an LT or something of that nature with a VDI. So this isn't the one for the VariX users. Or of course, you could still use your VariX with a 1/4 inch. Yeah. You won't be able to do everything that you can. But yeah, there's more questions coming up towards the end of the chat. I'll try to get to those as well too. Yeah, all good templates to build presets from. That's from Robert Apple. Agreed 100%. And Frank is mentioning that same thing about the VDI. Exactly. So balanced inputs, they're asking Frank. And we'll find out about that. Can you program it with HX Edit? No, we talked about this coming 2.7.
Yeah, 2.7, I believe. I did a video, and I hope it was okay for me to do that because I used the beta version. I did a video dialing in the first sort of episode, showing. It's up on my channel. I think I released it on Friday. But yeah, I'm using a beta version that I had for testing this. It works beautifully. There's some really cool features coming up. I think it's out there. I think I've seen Eric talk about online, but the ability, and I hope this is okay, I'm saying this, but the ability to open multiple, let's say you had a Helix and an HX Stomp both hooked up to your computer, you're going to be able to open up separate instances of HX Edit, one controlling Stomp, one controlling Helix, and copy and paste preset or blocks between the two.
Because right now,
cool.
Right now we can only connect to a Helix rack, and then we have to unhook that one, connect to Helix floor.
That's right. Yeah. So really good stuff, and I, from what I understand, that's coming pretty soon. I don't think that's a secret. That's kind of out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously it's going to work with HX Edit, and check the video out that I did because it shows the limitation of just six, the 6 blocks, and obviously it's going to have the limitations of what HX Stomp has.
That's right. And I can see where a lot of people are going to love this. In perfect example, just for here on the shows, like I don't do any jamming during the Helix Hour myself here. Normally it's all about the guests. But when I do live jams, I was using Helix floor, and it's, Helix floor is about this wide, and it's quite wide. And a person might not think that Helix, the control, is much smaller, but that, even with an expression pedal, does give me more foot space. I'm going to be using Stomp. It's going to be right here on my desk. It's a no-brainer because space is everything in a small studio.
Yeah.
And there's a million people like me that have small and even smaller, studios, and you get claustrophobic in here. And it's a great device for that. People asked if you can use it for interface for native and things like that.
Well, that to me is huge.
Yep.
That for somebody who, this much desktop space. As an audio interface, you're going in with that same front end, same conversion, same sound quality that you get with the Helix, and then you control Helix native with it. I mean, there's no 6 block limitation anymore, right? So that alone is to me a really big selling factor for this.
I agree.
For a lot of folks.
I agree. And Frank's kind of echoing what you said. He says as soon as 2.7 is out, HX Edit will work with Stomp. Should be out this week. That's fantastic.
Nobody's going to yell at me for saying that.
No, and the nice thing is, one of the extra icings on the cake when it comes to the Helix products, anything from Line 6, is, if Line 6 charged for certain updates, I think there would be a lot of us that would actually pay for it.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that because I don't want them to start doing that, but we would. And we get the stuff for free all the time. So it's kind of the product, you invest a little bit of money into the product, and you're always getting better. And at one time, it was really funny. I had a guy leave a negative comment one time because there was bug fixes. There was a long list of bug fixes in one of the updates, and he was complaining about that. Well, it must have been really buggy. No, actually, a lot of the bugs that you potentially find aren't even bugs. It's these guys behind the scenes. I know this for a fact that they're so adamant about having the best of the best of the best. You'd be like, oh, the red ring color was not red enough. Yeah. You know what I mean?
For my personal use, I've never come across any bug that's been a deal breaker or even a minor problem for that. And that, I'm not saying nobody else hasn't, but for me, it's been absolutely seamless and smooth, right? And the other thing is, you'll get an update and there's 3 new amp models and 10 new effects models, and you add up the value of that to purchase those. Here's a Friedman amp model, and here's a Mesa Boogie amp model, and it's like $4,000, $5,000 worth of amps we just got.
Yeah.
And we loaded it into our box in 10 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute or whatever.
Exactly.
And you're playing with it, right?
Yep.
So
JK's asking the actual dimensions. I don't have the exact numbers. The links in the description to take your rates.
On the website.
Yeah, on the website. But I have a Strymon Big Sky here on my pedal board, which is actually a tiny bit bigger than Stomp, just a tiny bit. So almost exactly the size of your typical dual 3-button effects pedal. So hopefully that answers that. We got links to Jason's YouTube channel. I really do suggest you check that out, please and thank you. I know most of you, probably all of you, are subscribed already, but please do. And if you're new here, please, I'd love it if you'd subscribe to me as well too. Let me see here. Okay, scroll too fast. So I'm going to go backwards from the end of it here because we're probably about 5 minutes away. Again, tuner demo. So do you want to show them a tuner demo real quick?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, one of the new things, and again, I don't think the cat is obviously out of the bag with this. Where am I here? Okay, there. So we've got tap. If we're in Stomp mode, we've got obviously tap tempo, which works like most tap tempos do. But if we press and hold that, like on the Helix, So we have strobe mode, coarse mode, and fine mode. Okay, so for me, what I was most excited was the strobe mode, because with the strobe tuner, basically, we're trying to get all those lines to stop moving.
And unfortunately, you can't see it 100% with the lighting here. I apologize. It's really,
bad. But basically, I'm getting all these little lines to stop moving, and these are ridiculously accurate tuners, right? And so I tested this against my
Peterson.
Yeah. And it was very accurate.
Yeah.
Is as accurate. So I think that, that has been such a controversial thing for so many folks with Helix and whatnot, that I think that's going to be a real welcome addition.
Yep. Robert says the difference between a bug and a feature is documented. There you go. And now Computer is saying native and stomp is 1,000. Yeah, but imagine also too if native and Helix or Helix native and LT. So it's an affordable.
Now maybe I shouldn't even say this. I'm not sure if there's going to be a discount with this for native like there is with others.
I don't know. Well, we'll find out. We don't know.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought that up.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We don't know. We're not saying that there is.
Somebody says shame that there's no native discount with Stomp.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't.
That's something that the Line 6 team will determine. Here's a good question as well too. The answer is yes, there is a looper. So Mike Allen is asking that, and AHS user is asking, is there a looper? Would you be able to demonstrate a looper real quick?
Oh boy.
Is it probably tricky?
Yeah.
But it is built in.
There's a one-button looper.
Yeah, same as what's on the new version of the looper, the one button.
That's right. It's only that. There isn't obviously 6-button because
we don't have 6 buttons. That's right. Yeah, and I didn't experiment too much yet with the one button and with the latest update. Are you a 6-button guy, or do you can go either way?
I'm a 6-button guy. I haven't even tried the one button, to be honest with you. So
something maybe for a rainy day you can practice with it. Yeah, very good. And off topic, I really like your hat. Where can I buy one? I think this came from Walmart. Let me see here. Brock says, I think native's already low where it's at a powerful software, and they always have deals on it, so catch when you can. Exactly.
Yeah, good point.
Do noise. Can you demonstrate the octave effects and pitch shifters with a clean sound if possible? We can at the moment because we don't have the expression pedal hooked up to it, and we are running late.
If I can honestly say something about that, go look up any demo videos where you get that same thing for the Helix, and it's going to be 100% identical.
100% the same.
It will sound identical. So that's the beauty of this. You can actually go and listen to Helix demos. It's going to, and I've for somebody who's used both so many times, it's identical.
Exactly. So Frank was mentioning something in the next few weeks. I'm not sure what that was, but we'll probably catch back here. I think we've got just about everything here, guys and girls. What impedance for headphones? Is that, I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I've used HD 600s. These are
those are nice phones.
Which are usually need a very good, strong headphone amp up, and they work fine with it. So
they can drive them.
It can drive them. So if it's any consolation, it's probably going to be fine.
If it can drive those, it can drive just about anything.
The vast majority,
right? Everything from an earbud, like I'm wearing, like an iPhone thing, to real pro studio phones.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Very, very good. Sean Murphy is asking, can you use 2 different amp models on different paths and toggle between them? Clean I don't think you can use 2 amp models, can you? Or am I wrong on that?
If there's DSP power for it, sure.
Okay, depending on what you're using after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Good question and good answer as well. What are some good third-party impulse response downloads? That's our opinion.
Very subjective. Yeah.
It's open. It says there's no right or wrong. It's like, do you like Pepsi or do you like Coke, right? Just
Celestion Ownhammer.
Yeah, I will say Celestion. I like Celestion.
Live Ready Sound is another.
Yep, for sure. And here again too, it's all up to interpretation.
And stock cabs, believe it or not, sound amazing.
Yes, they do. I know that. I know that.
I'm known as a stock cab guy.
That's right. Let's do this because a lot of people have asked about this.
Power splash.
Yeah, let's do that. So if you want to
grab it?
carefully grab that, and we'll power it down. I'll turn off the channel over here where the stomp is running through. So yeah, several people have asked about the power splash.
Am I good to go, Eric?
Yeah, you should be able to pull it right out, and we'll show you what that looks like. Here we go. Pull it out there. Okay, perfect. Pretty much, I don't know if it's not the identical one to HX effects. It's almost identical in appearance. So let's show the pedal.
The pedal, that's okay.
In comparison, we're good there. So it's almost about the same height as actually almost exactly the same height. Okay, right? Width-wise, just to give you a comparison, just so you can see it. Now the thing that's good about it, I'll pass you the stomp. The thing that's good about it is it has it on a side mount, so you can put it on your power bar, that may be this way, right? So it's not a deal breaker by any means at all. It is a big block, but as Jason was saying earlier, if they were to make this a little tiny plug, this thing would be...
This is going to be bigger.
At least a third size bigger to get the electronics into there. So,
one thing I wanted to mention too, I just jogged my memory. This is very warm. Not very warm. It's warm.
Yep.
That's normal.
It is.
That's been a question. Somebody else, is there something wrong with my unit? It's it's quite warm. There's a lot going on in here, from what I understand. Layers of circuit boards, and it's an engineering miracle in some way.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to get a bit of heat from it.
Don't be alarmed.
It's nothing to worry about. It's totally normal.
Sometimes with a small little electronics device, it gets hot. You're worried something's shorting out.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Take your laptop, and if you're rendering video, put your hand on your laptop when it's rendering a video.
Fry an egg on it.
Yeah, you could, because there's stuff going on. But there's nothing to worry about for sure. Now, if it lights up on fire, well, then let's have another discussion.
Problem,
Exactly. I think we're just about, I apologize if we do miss any questions, but we're more than happy to carry on the conversation over on the Helix Hour Facebook page, facebook.com/the Helix Hour. And I really, again, apologize if we miss anything, but it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. And Jason's going to have to hit the road
so much
quickly because he has a family function to do. So he took time out of his schedule today to come down. This has been awesome. It's nice to have you in the studio.
Pleasure's mine.
And you kind of get to see what goes on.
Yes, it's great.
It's kind of fun.
To get to be in the lair.
It's a little toy store in here. If I had a fridge and a washroom off to the side, I think it would be gold.
Never leave.
I know, never leave, never leave. So everyone, thank you so very much for tuning into the Helix Hour today. It was a great Sunday afternoon spent with you. Happy Canadian Thanksgiving to our Canadian friends here. And we hope you had a good, informative show and learned something from it. We've learned some things from you as well too, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And I've got Nick Rush on the program.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, another Line 6 artist, Yamaha guitars from South Africa, I believe.
Yeah,
which is cool.
So, yeah.
He'll be on next week, and we're going to be pretty busy throughout the week as well too over on our other programs. It's going to be a lot of fun. All the links are down in the description down below. If you're new here, please subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Check out Jason's properties down below, Facebook and YouTube in the description. And we will see you next time right here on the Helix Hour.
Ciao, guys.
Cheers.
Hey, you're still here? Eric Jr. here, reminding you to check out our full lineup of quality merch. Available right now in the Broadstash Boutique. Quality products and fast shipping. Visit broadstash.com today.
Thank you for watching the Helix Hour. We hope you enjoyed today's presentation. An extra special thank you to the staff at Line 6 for their continued support. If you've not yet subscribed, please do so right now and feel free to share our content with your friends. See you next time on the Helix Hour.